Hello beautiful people, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluchi Imo, and on this channel I talk about cake business. This is your cake business school where I teach you tips and strategies on how to grow a thriving cake business. I'm a cake artist that is based in Swindon, the United Kingdom, and if you see my beautiful face for the first time, you're most welcome to my channel. Please don't make it your last, become a part of the family. And if you've always been here, thank you so very much for your support. In today's short video, yes, it's going to be short, I hope so, but in today's video I'm going to be revisiting the topic of common buttercream challenges or issues. That's what we're going to be talking about. Now, if this is you and you are having issues with your buttercream, then let's get right into it because I'll be sharing some tips to help you. But you know how we do it. Before we get right into the video, get something to eat, drink, relax, and I'll be right back. Now, the first thing I'm going to be talking about is the consistency of your buttercream. Of course, that's a no-brainer. It is the first thing, and that is where all of these problems start from. So if your buttercream is not the right consistency, then you're going to be having issues with it. So consistency can be too hard, too dry, or too watery, too light. Now, if the consistency of your buttercream is not the right consistency, like it is on either of these ends, then you would definitely have issues with your buttercream. So what you want to do is to get the right recipe. And I have about 2 recipes or 3 recipes on my channel that I've shared so far on the different buttercreams that I use. Right now, I think I'm just doing the classic buttercream, but just with a little tweak here and there. So feel free to check out the videos on how I make my buttercream. But I do the 250-500, add a little bit of liquid, and I'm good to go. Now, when you're adding the liquid, please do not use too much. Whether you're using milk or water, make sure that you have a certain or the right quantity you're using and that you're adding to it. That will not make it become so watery and loose. Because if it has too much liquid in it, you won't be able to use this. It won't look fine. It won't look nice. Now, if you're on the other end where it's too hard and you are able to successfully cover your buttercream in it and pipe, it would have issues on the long run or in the long run. Things like your rosettes falling off the body of the cake or having cracks in your buttercream after it has stayed for long. So please make sure that you're working with the right consistency. Whatever recipe you're using, ensure that you're doing it right and it is the right one with everything in the right proportion. Now, the second thing I'm going to be talking about is specks in your buttercream. Like you have dots of colors here and there. Probably you've used something like lilac and then you're seeing pink in the midst of your buttercream or on the body of your buttercream around the covering, like you frosted your cake and you can see something like this. Now, what you can do to resolve this is not to mix your color with the entire batch of buttercream, especially if it's a paste-like or paste quantity, or if the quantity is paste or paste-like. So what you want to do is to take a little batch of buttercream, add some color to it, mix it before you now transfer it to the bigger batch and mix them all together. Now, even if it's in powdered form, because this happens both with paste from my observation and also with powdered color. So it's either you're using gel, or if you're using either of these, powder or paste, dilute it a little bit with water for the powdered one, and for the paste-like one, the one that is like paste, add it to a little batch of that buttercream, mix it all together, make sure it's properly mixed, and then transfer it into the bigger batch. Sorry, the sun is having a field day, so you're going to be having different levels of exposure in this video. But that's the second thing, and that's how to resolve it. Now, the third problem I'm going to be talking about is bitter taste in your buttercream. Now, I've had instances where people have asked, my buttercream is bitter, especially black, red, royal blue, colors that are intense, deep, and bold. What you want to do is to either change the one you're using, change the brand you're using, to use less, mix the color and allow it to so that it deepens naturally by itself instead of you adding too much or adding more and more to enhance the color. That would make it bitter in the end, especially if there are brands that you use that have this characteristic or quality. So what you want to do is to, like I said, add a little, mix it to the normal amount, and then allow it to, for example, if you're using it tomorrow, mix it today, allow it to sit through 24 hours or sit overnight. And by the time you come back to it, it will definitely be deeper because of oxidation. So that's one way you can get it deeper rather than adding color to it and it becomes bitter in the end. The third thing is to invest in more quality brand of colors. So if you're using a brand that won't give you that color from the get-go, or that you need, or that you won't use, or that you need to use much before you achieve that color, invest in other brands. There are other bigger brands in the market, and it's not just about big in size or big in name, big in terms of quality, that you do not use too much to achieve what you want in terms of the shades or the colors. The first thing you want to do is to try, especially if you're using SMBC, try blooming. I know you must have heard about the blooming method. So it's that method where you put your buttercream, put your color in your buttercream, take a little batch, mix it, put it in the microwave, heat it for a few seconds, and then turn it into the main batch, beat it all together, and then you have a deeper color. So that's one thing that you want to do. The fourth thing I'm going to be talking about under this point, which is broad, is to do a layer of white or cream coating, depending on what you're using, and then do a thin coat that you use to cover the entire cake, just like you can see me doing here. So you don't need to mix the color, the entire batch of frosting in that particular color. Make a light coat, the original coat, which is white or cream, depending on what yours is, and then add a thin coating. Then add a thin coating around it so that you do not end up using too much buttercream. That is one way you can go about resolving this if it's too bitter. 4 is gritty or grainy buttercream. Now, I know that this is a problem that is common to all, and it depends largely, I would say, on the type of brand that you're using. There are some brands that are fine, they are finely grated or grounded, and the icing is nice, just powdery, and you do not need to do extra. But for me, as a rule of thumb, I always sieve my buttercream, no matter where it's coming from, no matter the brand I'm using. I always sieve it so that it will not be grainy. Now, if you are using a brand that is not nice or like fine powder in texture or consistency, chances are that you will end up with grainy buttercream. So to help yourself, especially if this is what is available or obtainable in your location or available in your location, please sieve it. Sieve it with something like this. It is a nice sieve that you can use, and that would help you do the sieving nice and fine. So sieve it before you use it in your buttercream, or before you add it to your butter, whatever you're using, before you add it to your butter mixture. Ensure that you're sieving it. If you sieve it, then you have one less thing to worry about when it comes to the consistency of your buttercream. So sieve. I don't know what else I can say about this, because I know that this is the major culprit, the texture of your icing sugar, your confectioner sugar, depending on what you call it in your location. This is one thing that can really help you sieve it. And then when you're mixing, mix well. Do not overmix, or mix well until it is fine and smooth. Now, the fifth thing I'm going to be talking about is rough finishing. So when you look at your buttercream, it is not smooth. It doesn't look smooth. And I've made a video to address this. Please do yourself a favor and watch that video, because it's very possible to achieve a smooth, fine, and neat finishing when it comes to your buttercream. So what you want to be doing is to invest in the right tools. And if you have the right tools, or you have good tools that are good enough, like your bench scraper, then you need to be using it right. There is a way that you will use your bench scraper that you will be pulling the entire buttercream off your cake. And there's another way that you will use it in terms of the positioning and in terms of the pressure you apply, that would make everything come out nice and fine. I've shared a video on how to comb and get a smooth finish, a short, if you want combing your cake, and also if you're smoothing the body of your cake. These things take time to practice, so please do not beat up yourself and do not be hard on yourself if you're doing it and you're not getting it. The key is consistency, so keep at it. If you're smoothing, go round and round and round, filling the dents and filling the holes until you get the look that you deserve. If it is combing, keep going round. That's the thing with combing. You don't comb 5 times and say, oh, this thing is not smooth, I'm tired. Keep going round for as long as it takes, and that's why you should charge right, because there's a lot of work that is involved in cake decorating. Now, these are the 5 tips that I want to share with regards to common buttercream issues. If you have more, feel free to ask me your question down in the comments. And if you've watched up to this point, you're the real MVP. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button and also to subscribe to my channel. Until I see my next video, stay happy, stay safe, and stay blessed.